subscribe now.
and step into the magic.
Hi, my name is Calvin from Wu Wei channel. So today I managed to invite one of my favorite teachers to come over and talk about sound healing especially. So let's welcome Mindy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. So grateful for this invitation
Thank
to
you.
have like a deeper dive into this topic here. So thank you, Calvin, for giving us this opportunity and creating this so that people can get more awareness and they can get more education about this as well.
Yeah, thank you, Mindy. So Mindy,
Yes.
let's talk a little bit about yourself. Then why are you in this sound healing?
Okay. So how it came about is also quite going with the flow. I started off in this journey with energy healing. So I deep dived with energy healing with my teacher at that time, Lynette. And after a while, I also start to be more explorative. So I'm like, okay, this one looks interesting. Let me go have a try. And that one looks interesting. And let me go have a try. So one of the things that I ventured into was like, I didn't know there's all these different instruments that looks weird and odd, and it's not at all what I know. So I give it a try, and I find that it quite relaxes my body, and I'm also really curious because I feel that sometimes life can give us like a roundabout. Like after I finishes high school, I actually wanted to venture into further music learning as like, let's say, bachelor in music and things like that. I've gotten to diploma with the Australian board, but yeah, parents doesn't allow and disagree with that career path, and therefore, yeah, full circle coming back in a different way as sound healing. Yeah, so I went into a sound bath, and I find that it was really nice, and I asked the teacher if she teaches, and she told me yes, I do courses. And I think I waited perhaps another half a year or 1 year before I really joined her for the sound healing course. And even at that time, I didn't really have like the intention to like do this, because to me it's like more of like a hobby. It's nice because I really like energy healing first. Yeah. Opportunity came through a friend who is facilitating inner child's work and some other circles for a local festival called Merfest. And initially she wanted to hire a gong master. And when time comes, I asked her, hey, have you hired someone? And she's like, no, actually, I think I'm gonna scrap that idea. And I'm like, why not I do it for you? I don't have a gong back then. And I'm like, I have bowls. And she's like, okay, let's do that. So we started off just me doing it as like a background music for my friend. And after that, the owner of Heart Sanctuary that I also worked for at that time, I helped her with her studio in terms of like bookings and product sales and things like that. So she's saying that, hey, actually that teacher that you went to before, she is now super busy. She's traveling everywhere. So, and I don't really have like a sound healer in-house anymore. And I see that you do that at MoFest. Why not you do it here? And you do it more regularly here. And I'm like, okay. And that's how things are. Like universe just happened to like flow and open the door.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
So
nice.
my first step into facilitation started with sound healing.
Okay, besides sound healing, what is your other venture? Yeah.
Okay. So I'm someone who's very curious, so I did learn quite a bit. I learned definitely energy healing and sound healing. I also learned how to facilitate circles through a 7 days, 6 nights program that was in Thailand and
In Thailand?
in Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah, with
Okay.
a US based teacher. Yeah.
Nice.
And after that, I also ventured a 13 months journey that we meet every full moon, new moon, full moon, new moon for 13 months with the same teacher online.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
she went back to, yeah. So circles are also one of the first few things that I started facilitating with. Currently, I would say the modality or the techniques that I've been doing more of is family constellation.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And at the moment, I'm also pursuing something new, learning something new.
Okay.
And I'm on a trauma and resilience coaching program to learn how to coach in terms of trauma as well. So let's see whether I bring that in or it's just for my own learning.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so how long you are in this industry? Yeah.
I started with sound healing facilitation in 2018.
Okay.
So that makes maybe 7.5 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So besides that, then when you see that energy healing or any sound healing, the differences like 5 years now and 5 years later, what is the big truth for you in this period of time?
Okay. When I first started, I do feel like it's completely something unventured, like into. Whereas right now, more people like have an open heart and open mind towards it.
Correct.
If anything, they are like, oh, I've seen it on YouTube or social media, or I have a friend who does this, or I have friends who have like experienced it before, or I have another friend who goes regularly. So it becomes more of a norm. And when that happens, I think people tend to have like, okay, let me just try a class and
Yeah, from my point of view, I think I also venture in the energy healing as well, and sound with you, and as other modalities with other teachers. I found that there is acceptance between these few years.
Yeah.
That we accept the accept death, accept the having a trauma, accept they are having the mental health, all these things. Then all particular these very niche communities is actually coming up.
Yeah.
Slowly, and seek for relevant modalities or some energy healing to actually like bring them back in their conscious mind. This is what I explore. At the same time, they are very welcome. You know, they are very glad that we are actually in that positions to tell them that you're okay, you're right. Let's come and join us in certain meditation classes, sound healing, to just relax yourself and just lie down, do nothing, and see what's going on to your body. This is very nice kind of venture. So I heard that you have a studio. So want to talk about the cell phone studio? Yeah.
Okay, so in KL, mainly I have been going to different studios.
Okay.
Some of them like yoga studios, some of them like more healing studios. So it was never in my plan to have my own studio.
Oh,
'Cause I
thought
feel-
you already have. After 5 years, I plan to have this, and this.
It was never in my plan because I can see like how tough it was.
Exactly.
Like I like facilitating, but I may not know like how to set up a place or be an entrepreneur. Like how do I handle like the accounting part, the business part, the products part, the
Marketing, promotions, all this thing. Yeah.
and other facilitator part, right? There's so many different moving parts when
Okay.
you have a studio. So what happened was that universe presented to my face, and
beautiful.
so I kind of feel like actually it resonated, and I feel okay with it. Okay, so backtrack a little bit
Okay.
to the story. So my studio is located in Ipoh, and that's where my hometown is. I grew up there. I didn't stay there like after I become an adult. I moved out. My parents are still there. A lot of my relatives are still there. So my business partner, who first started as my energy student, graduated already and have like tremendous transformation in her life already. And she approached me and said that there is this nice place that was occupied by a yoga teacher previously.
Oh.
And the yoga teacher has gotten back, let's say, a full-time job, and she will go back to lecturing. And that's far away from Ipoh, like a 1 hour traveling time. So she has to let go of the studio and just teach online. So she feels that it's not nice to just let go of the studio and and her baby, whatever effort that she has put into like beautifying the studio is all going to waste. So she asked around if anyone that would take over. So when my business partner approached me, she's also based in KL with hometown Ipoh, and we are the same age, just that we never know each other when we are in Ipoh. We only knew each other when her awakening journey started. And she reached out to me like one odd day, Mindy, can I have a chat with you? I know you do this with this other studio. Can I just talk a little bit about like my issue and see if you are able to help me? And we had like a, I don't know, 1-2 hours chat. Yeah, so that's how things just really start. So when she presented with me with the idea of the studio, I feel like actually it's an excellent location. She actually have, let's say, imagine this full wall, this entire wall here, beautiful mural of like greens, of like a beautiful goddess like in the middle. So that image also resonated with me. The space is huge. Yeah. Yeah, huge. And I'm like, hey, actually, it's not bad. And I'm like, what's there to lose, right?
So there's no reason for you to say no.
Yeah, there's no reason to say no. And the rental in Ipoh comparative to like KL is way cheaper. Like, I don't know, 6 times cheaper. If I were to pay 1 month rent in KL, I can pay 6 months rent in Ipoh. So I'm like, okay, let's just see how it goes. Because I also seen like studios in KL whereby they don't operate full time.
Yeah.
They are not open like from Monday to Sunday.
Correct.
Right? And they perhaps only operate, let's say, when there's workshop going on, or when there's like, or maybe like on the weekends. And if it can sustain in KL, why not in Ipoh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my thoughts about it, and we have survived at least for 1 year. So we just celebrated our first year anniversary just last month.
Yeah, I saw you have this event. Yeah, you invited a lot of various of healers to come to the studio and do some workshops. It's really beautiful. So I think I should participate next year.
You don't have to wait next year. You can actually come. Let's find a
okay.
schedule that when you are heading north to Ipoh, and then we'll see like what we can slot in. All your beautiful offerings, like, it can be like a 1 hour energy, and then another hour, let's say, all this group class, and then after that, let's say private sessions. Yeah, this is what I like to do with facilitators.
Okay, I think I can do some coverage in Ipoh as well.
Yeah.
So now I have a very beautiful instrument on the table and besides me. So you mind to introduce your babies?
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to sound healing, there's plenty of different instruments that is available. And that makes it harder for sound healer, because then we will be like, how many do I need to get before I can do a sound bath, right? Or a sound healing session. So that is tricky as well. So usually with my students who learn with me, I tell them it's okay to just start with a few. Because it's not about like how many instruments. It's not like when you can play 100 instruments in your session that you are like a good sound healer, right? It's not about like so much of that. So I would say what I brought today is just some of them, and I'm sure you see many more in the market. So I have a bowl here, and this bowl is more of like a practitioner bowl where you can actually hold it. Do you want me to play?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Come. Let's listen to this instrument. Can you let us know what is this? What's the name of the instrument and how it functions, all this thing?
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is actually a crystal bowl, and it is painted like in gold color. Yeah, so it's crystal, and I can hold it, and if you see through, actually, you can see through it. So it's entire like one piece. So with the practitioner bowl, what I can do is that I can chime, okay, and with the beautiful resonance and sound that is coming from here, I can hover it closer to whoever that's having a session, and you have like almost like a surround sound going on. Yeah, with beautiful like vibrations. So lower vibrations help to like calm down. Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. So there is some symbol inside the bowl. Is there any thing to represent or something?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be very clear, but yes, there is like a symbol here, and there's also wording here, and the wording says "I am empowered" because this one is actually for the solar plexus. So if we really want to, we can put at the solar plexus and chime. Yeah. I like for this bowl to be chime rather than sing, because I feel like the sound that comes out from the bowl is more, how to say, different melodies is coming out at the same time when we chime. So when I'm singing the bowl, I can also use. Yeah.
What's the difference between this bowl and normal crystal bowl that we see in outside studios or?
Okay.
Yeah, what's the
if
difference?
they are like whitish color,
Okay.
yeah, so those are like frosted bowl.
Alright. Called frosted bowl.
Yeah,
Okay.
frosted bowl. It's made of crystals as well. It's more heavy. So
yeah.
you are not able to like hold it so easily, except for the smaller ones like the 8-inch bowl. You can still hold 10-inch if you have muscles. You can.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But these bowls are made lighter, so they are very thin. Yeah, so they are much lighter and you can hold it. Yeah. The thing about crystal bowl is that we can break.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it's not handled with care or it fell down on the
yeah.
floor, it can break. And this is like thousands gone. So
Okay.
majority of
I think
instruments.
just put it like that. Yeah.
Majority of instruments are.
Yeah. So I one question to ask, like, as a sound healer or sound practitioners or sound healing practitioners, is there any like rules and regulations saying that you need to have a bowl before you become a sound healer? Do they have any rules and regulations on this? Yeah.
I don't believe so, because I feel like this is still an industry that is perhaps at this moment, instead of like the ancient times, that at this moment is only starting to get, let's say, more exposure or popularity.
Correct.
Yes, bowls are usually what people start with, and even with bowls, there are things like the Himalayan bowls. And Himalayan bowls, they are the type that handmade bowls that if you really look at it, it looks like out of shape or not
The bronze,
standard.
very dirty.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of like those like uneven surface.
Uneven, yes,
yeah,
correct.
All these things.
Yeah, because they are handmade.
Yep.
So they are hammered and handmade. Those provide very nice vibrations, and the studies of it or the history of it comes more towards like the Himalayan side, like the Nepal or India or like Tibet, because sometimes they are also known as Tibetan bowl.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
they are crystal bowls. And even crystal bowls, there are so many different types. The frosted crystal bowls are the more regular one that we see, but nowadays in the market, there are like so many that is infused with other gems, or they are like one piece, of crystal instead of like the broken down crystals.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So besides the crystal bowl that you mentioned here, introduce another babies that are on the table.
Okay.
Yep.
So
This is very interesting pyramid.
yes.
Yep.
So it is a pyramid made from crystal.
Oh, crystal again. Oh,
Crystal
okay,
again.
nice.
Yeah, it looks like glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the vibration that comes out from this, they have like slight different vibration or sound when here or here. So this tend to be slightly on the higher pitch,
Okay, nice.
and if the pyramid is big enough, actually what I can do is that I can hover over someone
Oh,
in between their ears, and
Okay.
they just have this like a gush of all this beautiful vibration happening at the same time.
it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this one mainly you use it for individual or how?
No, I
Yeah.
can also use it during classes as well.
Okay.
Because any instruments that is too heavy to bring, I will have them like at one corner where I play with them.
Okay.
And instruments that is like easy to hold, like this one. If I want to, I can still hold this and play. Yeah. But instruments that are a little bit too heavy to hold, it will be stationed at one corner. Instruments that I can travel with, then I can hover and bring it closer to each participant.
This
Even
is
if-
beautiful. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Can talk more about this instrument.
So the very first one that they came up with was Koshi Bell. Koshi Bell is very popular. You can find like YouTube videos,
Okay.
Spotify that have melodies that is from the Koshi Bell. This is also from the maker of the Koshis, but this is called Zafir Chime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Actually, he came out with this one first, then only Koshi, but Koshi got popularity. But this series is also very, very nice. Koshi has 4 different elements: the air, the fire, the earth, and the water. This one is a little bit different. Like the one that I'm holding here is yellow, so it actually represents sun, the energy of the sun ray. And there's like the moon, and then there's like Sufi and some other things, going on.
Okay.
Oh, I have another one that is crystal energy, but in the form of like a chime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every sound that comes from the different chimes, slightly different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like wind chimes, like the Chinese believe that once it's played, right, there are something who will come over to you. Just want to ask whether during you perform sound healing, is there any like things that do and don'ts? Yeah.
Do and don'ts. Okay.
You hold the sound bar or sound healing or you do one to one. So is there any do and don'ts for all the instrument or during the sessions, all this thing?
The don'ts.
Yeah, let's talk about
I would prefer, if anything, we always start gentle.
Okay.
Yeah, some of these instruments can be like super powerful, super loud, amazing, but we don't get there immediately. Like we have to be gentle. Why? Because we have humans in the room. And all of these humans, mainly they go there for relaxation, to de-stress.
Correct.
And if you imagine sudden loud sound,
Wow.
boom, right?
They're like,
It will shock the body or shock like their mind. So that's like not to do. So always start gentle, and even if we transition into different instruments, we also like start a little bit more on the gentle side. Because if, like, say I were to have a new ping going on, right? If it starts like completely loud, it can also jolt people out.
Yeah.
And I also sing. Not every sound healer sing in the session. I also sing. So I prefer to also hum first before I tone. So humming looks more like,
wow, nice.
right?
Yeah.
So I do a little bit of like a humming. And if I really want to, let's say, use my vowels, like the oo, ah, e, a, right? Then I can, rather than I straight away,
They're like,
yeah.
okay, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So last but not least, this beautiful gong is behind us. So
Okay.
yeah, just talk more about this.
So there are many different gongs. This is an Asian gong and it's from China. This is called a chow gong.
Chow.
Chao. Chow gong.
Chao.
Yeah.
Chow gong.
Chow gong.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Any represent the different? I mean, any why this gong called chow gong? Any like reason behind?
I'm actually not so sure,
Okay.
but how you can identify a chow gong, because another type is wind gong, chow gong and wind gong. Wind gong is like a flat surface. Yeah, so chow gong has a little bit like of a curve going on.
Alright.
Yeah,
Is handmade or is machine made?
this is handmade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So again, with gong, they are quite powerful. So usually we start a gong off by at least like saying a little bit of like a hello. It's like, hi,
Okay.
are you ready for work? We have all these participants here that's like ready to receive the vibration.
Oh my.
So we gradually bring it louder.
Wow.
And this is not the full extent of like what the gong can do. And again, we are not like showcasing instruments in terms of like how they can perform in a session. The loudness can be 100%, but very often we probably get them to like 30% or 50 something, 60%. Because again, it's not about like showcasing, it's more about like people able to like calm their nervous system, able to let go and relax their body or their emotions during a session. So yeah.
So with all these equipments on tables, what is your capacity range that you can do a sound healing or sound bath? Yeah.
What do you mean by capacity?
But I mean, with the instrument right now here, how many people they can join with this kind of instrument like this gong, crystal bowl, crystal pyramid, and koshi bell? Yeah. How many packs they can?
Actually, larger group is possible. It also depends on the space.
Okay.
An enclosed space, like inside a building or inside a room, can hold the sound better compared to when we are out in nature, out in the open, right? And if I were to have larger group, I may bring different instruments. If I have smaller groups, I may bring different instruments.
Okay.
So we can cater to large group and small group. And if we talk about large groups, I have perhaps done like 50 packs in a hotel ballroom.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Okay, 50 people is on the ground. So
Yes.
you're the one who perform.
Yes.
But sound healing is pretty huge. Okay. So yeah, the next question I want to ask is a very interesting question. What's the big difference between sound bath and sound healing? Yeah.
Actually, if you ask me, I use both terms interchangeably as though they are the same thing.
Okay.
Though, if you really want to go into the nitty-gritty, sound bath does sounds more of like you are just laying down there passively and just receiving the vibrations. Okay? So my sound bath sessions actually don't just happen where participant comes in and straight away they lie down and get comfortable with blankets and with like eye mask and like time to doze off.
Yeah.
I know there are some practitioners that prefers that, so mine don't. I very much prefer to have a little bit of a reflection going for the people coming in, and more importantly, set an intention. So what are they coming for this session for? So when we set an intention, we also are directing all of this sound to go where? So it can be on a physical level.
Yep.
People who have physical pain, let's say I'm having a headache, or I'm having like gastric pain, or I hurt my knee, or I fell down. All of that can be targeted. Yeah, so we can target physically, we can also target emotionally, we can also target our thoughts, or we can also target spiritual. So actually they can access everywhere, on every level. Yeah, so it's more of like when you set the intention, then it's clearer for you what you are doing with the sound. And therefore it's not passive anymore. Yeah. So sound healing, some people say that it is more targeted or it's more of like a one-on-one work.
Yeah.
Whereby instruments are the same, right? But we get the client to really tell us what is it that you want to work on. Like, oh, you want to open up like your throat chakra, you want to be able to communicate well, you want to be able to like state your boundaries. Yes, that can be worked on. But in the same time, I can also have another class that is like, okay, working on like your voice or your communication, or let's just say the throat chakra. It can be done and it's no longer so passive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understand. So give us an example that before you start at the sound bath sessions or sound healing sessions, what are the things of intention setting activities? What are the things that you do? Give us an example for that.
A very simple one is I would get people to reflect on their week, and throughout the week, what is your high, what is your low,
Okay.
and if you are in control of next week, if it can come out as your ideal, how would that be? How would that look like?
All right.
Yeah, so that is setting intention already.
Okay.
like people being able to share one by one what's their high, what's their low. In the same manner, they also have like a shared space together. Oh, I'm not the only person going through these difficult emotions, or I'm not the only person like having stress. Actually, people are having their highs and their low as well,
Yeah.
and we can celebrate each other for our high, and we can also feel like, oh, don't worry about that. No, it's okay. I felt the same way as well, and then there's connection that's being made. Because human connection, I feel like, is quite rare where we can open up to each other. So sometimes in my class that happens. A lot of
Yep.
friendship builds, like people catch up over coffee after that.
Yeah.
And even for you,
Yeah,
you
you
met
met-
so many different like
Yes.
interesting people.
Exactly. So I met a lot of the people, and you share a lot of like experience on your sessions and other sessions as well. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's a one-to-one kind of like interactions after the sessions, and we stay quite long
Yeah.
for some activities as well. All right. So I believe that you, as a sound healer, you also be a receiver in certain sound healing session as well.
Yes.
So I just want to ask how it feel as a receiver. Yeah. So like us, we just tell them, the modalities is like how the instrument vibrations, how it is work, all these things. I just want to ask how, as a receiver, when you
Okay.
are in that kind of state during the sound healing session start, so how you feel
Okay.
as a receiver. Yeah.
I would like for you to also answer the question because I know that you have sessions before. I'll share mine first. Yeah. So definitely I may have like energy flowing. So that's quite common. Sometimes I may also get pain that shows up.
Okay.
So usually the pain is related to something that I already have. Let's just say sometimes
Back.
I may feel like a little bit like of a nudge at my back, and that may represent like, let's say, my root chakra is being cleared out. Yeah, so people who, let's say, have like back issues, sometimes during a session, let's say that part can get activated. Or some people who have like headaches sometimes or migraine sometimes during a sound healing sessions, it can also get activated. So it feels like the pain comes, and why am I getting this pain? Actually, it's there for a reason. It's being like surfaced so that we can clear it out. Yeah. Often after the session end, it's gone. And they will come back and tell me that, hey, Mindy, I have this pain, but after the session, it's gone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be times that they have the pain and the pain is not gone, and all we need to do is just work on them a little bit more. Like we let other participants go off, and it's like, is it okay you stay with me for another 5 minutes? And usually with that 5 minutes, they'll be like, what happened, Mindy? Why is it gone? I don't understand. Yeah, so it will be quite miraculous or magical for some people to experience that as well. But at the same time, it can be quite scary because it's like, what's happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's something like change. It's just a bit just like that. So people will say, oh, what happened?
Yes.
Yeah. So my experience as a receiver during the sound sessions, I feel I can knock off just like that. Okay. I try not to sleep. I try. But during the sessions like 5 to 15 minutes, that moment, we feel a lot of like goosebumps ongoing, and you feel the heat.
Okay.
The heat from either from your root chakras or your feet, or all the way to the crown, or crown all the way to the feet. It's like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. That the heat kind of hit. But after 15 minutes, I try to like maintain just want to aware of that kind of feeling. But end up, I'm sure, knock off.
Yeah.
like
I tend to sleep quite a lot as well during sessions.
Yeah, it's very, very nice, and also at the same time, especially when you start play the instrument and you sing, and that moment actually I can't hear anything. I can't. Just like then they say, okay, everybody wake up. Okay. It's time to this is finish the sessions. Okay, it's nice. So, as a sound healer, what is the best instruments that you think that you can use during the sound sessions? What's the best instrument?
Okay. I will answer this in two ways.
Okay.
Okay. So if I were to say that the most healing instruments for anyone is your own voice. Your own voice is the most healing. Like we can hum, and it can calm us down. And if you were to think back about like when we were young as a baby, when our mother rocked us to sleep, very often there's some form of like a singing or a humming, right? And this perhaps is like with every culture or traditions, and we can do that for ourselves as well.
It's
So-
very natural kind of voice
Yeah.
and movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can also dedicate our voice, and we have tried this many times, to the area of pain. So if you have like a shoulder pain right now, you just feel into like, okay, what? You have? Do you have?
No?
Okay, if you have any form of pain, you can do this at home.
Let's try.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can use any of the vowels. Just feel into like, do I want an E or A or U or I?
A-E-I-O-U lah.
Yes.
This 5
Yeah.
vocal. Yeah.
And you can just see if which one feels more suitable. If it feels like is the one, or you can also just try it out. That doesn't sound right. You can maybe E sounds better, and you really dedicate your sound and voice and even the vibrations into, let's say, the area that you have pain, and let me know if you have any relief, or can it even go away instantaneously.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any place, anywhere, any kind of vocal.
I would say it's easier when we have like a body pain,
Okay.
because we know when it's painful. So what would help that even better? You give yourself like a range from 0 to 10. 0 is no pain, 10 is excruciating pain. Where are you right now, right? So if it's just like, let's say a 5, maybe it went down to a 2, and I say like that would be already great. You
Yeah.
don't need painkillers. You don't need to go like get a massage or a tuina or
Yeah.
some form of like an adjuster. Yeah.
Yeah. So now a lot of people is trying to accept the holistic ways to like what do you call, to cure on itself, all this thing. Yeah. I think you should try. Okay.
Yeah.
If you have any pain in here, there, you can try to use the vocal A-I-O-U and see, as what Mindy said, that you can scale it before we start at 1 to 5. If there is any reduce on your what do you call the range 1 to 5, then I think it's a sign of like the particular area is receiving the healing by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are more than 70% is liquid
Yeah.
in our body. So that's why it's always resonate with the vibrations or frequencies on certain musical or certain sound. Yeah, I think it is. Thank you for the information, and I think it's very good kind of practice that we should try at home. Okay. Besides that, is there any like funny?
Hang on.
Okay.
I haven't given you the second
Oh
one.
yeah, sorry. Okay, let's second one.
Okay. Of course, instruments that can go really loud and you can feel like very strong vibration from it, I would say that is a good instrument, or can sustain the same sound for a long time. That is also considered a very powerful instrument. So it's not so much about like, oh, I have a Tibetan bow here or a Himalayan bow, and this is like definitely the best, right?
Correct.
Every single bowl is different.
Yep.
The size of it is different. The sound that is delivered from it is different. So in terms of like the vibration and like also how loud, because the louder it is, the better it gets to penetrate.
Yep.
But again, we also need to gently and gradually do it, and it doesn't shock the system. Yeah, so if we want to deliver a loud one, we need to like somehow slowly get there when people are already like quite relaxed and quite deep in, let's say, their relaxation. So we can deliver that. And I would say perhaps gong is able to really deliver that vibration as well as that reverberance and the resonance that is like super powerful.
What about drum?
Drum is good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now drum, very often it is more one tone or slightly different tone. Drum, the effect is better when it's more inspiring. Because very often we are using sound healing for relaxation. So if we use drum for a relaxation sound healing, it can still work. It cannot be a very vibrant and lively drumming. So it cannot be like ding, 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 that kind, but you can go like dum, or like a heartbeat kind of rhythm, dum dum, dum dum, and it can relax people as well. Now, why having something like a drum helps? Because not all of us are in, let's say, anxious state or in like that nervous, like don't know what to do with our hands and feet and like, or stressful state. Some of us may also be very disassociative state or like depressive state. So the drum can be one of those uplifting instruments that can bring us out of that state. Yeah. If used too much in a sound healing session, then people will come to me and ask, Mindy, why I cannot sleep? Now, I usually sleep well, but I cannot sleep when I go back home. It's because there's that liveliness that can come. Yeah, so we have to kind of like balance it out. And of course, when a client is coming for a private session, then we know exactly like what the client needs better. Is it more of like uplifting sound healing, or is it more of like a relaxing sound healing?
Right. So besides that, during the sound healing sessions, is there any funny moments or woo moments that you experienced during the live sessions that you did?
Okay, I'll answer funny first because woo-woo and funny is very different.
Alright.
Yeah, so okay, one of the dilemma I have as a sound healing, especially to a group, is that sometimes you will have people who snore in the room,
Definitely.
and I'm very like conflicted whether shall I like tag them and ask them to change their position so that they no longer snore and it doesn't disturb other participants, right? Some participants don't mind. Some they're like, oh, it's so nice, someone actually dozes off, and it helps them relax further. But there will be some who is like very annoyed, like, why is there someone snoring? It's disturbing my rest, right? So both ways can happen. But if I were to go over and tap someone, right, it may disturb this person.
Correct.
From the deep rest that they have to come out.
You kind of dilemma whether should I do this
Yeah.
or should I do that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
So the funny moment is sometimes I can also use instruments. If someone is snoring, I use the instruments and I come really close to the person,
Oh, okay.
and they will wake a bit. And when they wake a bit, the snoring can stop as well. Now, my funny moment would be there's this guy who came, and it was his first time, no matter what I did, whether I bring an instrument soft or loud, and I try to tap because the snoring is very loud. It is like reverberating the whole room.
Is that a gong?
Yeah, it's almost like the gong inside the person. Yeah, I tap, I smack. The guy is still not. Yeah, he is really deep, and I'm like, okay, I've already tried. I really can't do anything. So yeah, it can be funny in that sense.
Yeah. So for woo, is there any like some experience that something happening during the sessions with to the receiver? Yeah.
Okay, so I have people, this is quite common, and some of them they could also be a bit surprised by it as well. A lot of people actually see colors, even though during a sound healing session, the tendency is that we switch off almost all of the light. Yeah. So I can receive comments like, Mindy, why you put on a purple light? Or Mindy, you just now turn on a blue light. I'm like, no, there's no light at all. Whatever colors you see is actually the colors that is within you.
Correct.
Because it's even more apparent if, let's say, the earlier days, prior to pandemic, we also distribute out eye masks to people. Yeah, so they really cover their eyes. So there's no way light can go in. So the light is actually the inner light. And the instruments can stimulate their third eye as well. Yeah, so I would say that's what's going on.
But it's very rare that people sees colorful light, but mainly I do experience only white light,
Okay.
very bright light. It's really appear during the sessions. But other than that, I can't see any other like
Okay.
colors. Yeah.
Some people have very vivid experience. They'll be like, oh, it was yellow first, and it was like on the left side of my, and then it slowly spin and spin. They can tell a full story, spin, and then suddenly it become blue, and after blue, yeah, it's like the whole picture going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So other than that, I also have people who may travel back in time, and this one you take it as you please. They travel back in time and they kind of like, oh, I went back to a past life, and in my past life, my dog is my son.
Wow.
No wonder, like this life, I have him and I really like he's my son, like that. So I have things of like people going like regression like that,
Okay.
and they go to the past, and I have people who go to the future, and they have like a vision of like how they can be or how their house look like. So regression can happen, and it's not that I facilitate that, but more of the people that I'm talking here, they are already quite conscious. They are already into meditation, into yoga, into all this work. So therefore, it's easier for them to like just naturally travel. Yeah. So don't be afraid. It may not happen to you. So for someone who's new, usually it doesn't show up like that so much.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, it's new. Okay. Yeah. As a sound healing or receiving sound healing, what is your advice? That as a sound healer, as also the receiver for sound healing. So what is the advice for sound healer first? Let's talk about sound healer. So what is the advice for the new sound healer? How should they start as a sound healer?
I would say every single person have their own inner intelligence, have their own inner guidance, and that will be like the best teacher. And whatever comes to them like naturally, even if it's like not what everyone else is doing, I would say follow that. Yeah, because then their own uniqueness come out and they will attract their own target audience. Yeah.
Because I saw a lot of people nowadays practicing sound healing. So it's like every week you can see like 10, 20, or even 30 healers graduated
Okay.
in the markets.
Yeah.
So this is why I say, what is yours? The what do you call method, ways to make sure that the sound healer actually is really legit, practicing all these things in the proper modalities, ways of.
Okay, and I would say it's quite subjective what we have here. I know we grew up in a society whereby they say like, oh, certification is important, you need to pass the test, you need to like right? And this one is more than test, it's more than like graduating, because all of us may have like other things going on. Some of them, they could be like very sensitive to emotions, right? And they can feel the emotions of the room. And they could be the sound healer that help with people's processing their emotions. Because there are some sound healers whereby every class someone is crying, and that's the norm, right?
Yeah.
Everyone is like, why cry? The crying is also a form of release, whereby let's say they are frustrated or they are sad or they are grieving and they can't process it in their day-to-day life. But in a sound healing session where it's a safe environment, tears can just flow out naturally, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's more. Yeah, like I have music background. I have music education. That does give me a bit of extra, because then I know like, oh, which one sounds good together, right? But it doesn't mean that people who don't have music education that they are at not such a good place. Yeah. So yeah, everyone bring their own unique flavor to what they are offering. Yeah. And for you have your unique flavor.
Yeah.
You can offer it to men. Yeah, you can offer it to men who's like, okay, I don't want to go to all these ladies and then people judge me, maybe I'm gay, or those kind of like stigma and all that. They come to you because they feel like, okay, maybe Kelvin can help me with this, and maybe Kelvin can also help me with like, what does it mean to be vulnerable? What is it that I can share where I usually don't without getting judged, right? Or they can come to you, let's say for Akashic reading and things like that, and it can be part of the session in some way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So what about the receiver? Like they are newly joined, you just like they are yes, no, like that, they want to try it out. So what are the things that you want to advise is like the first sound bath, you know, that for a receiver, attending the class, all this thing. So what they should prepare and what their readiness on these sections. Yeah,
Okay.
can you tell me more about this?
First thing first, have lots of water.
Okay.
Have lots of water before and after the session because it helps. Like you mentioned earlier, the body is made out of water, and the water are the one that's like, let's say, not only the water, every part of us is being exposed to the sound, and water can nourish us and help us detox away all the different vibrations as well. And sometimes some people may go into a little bit of like a detox state after sound, whereby things like diarrhea or can happen like burping or a lot of different release in different ways. So water does help.
Okay. I think the another thing is the openness of you to go for the sessions. Yeah. Don't think that you only have trauma, have emotional problems, all this thing, only you go for these sessions. You are normal, you also can experience the kind of vibrations, energy in the room.
Yeah.
So I mean, my advice is you should go and experience on the what they call this, whichever sound healing sessions. You can feel whether how your body react into the kind of frequency.
Yeah.
Especially they have a lot of instruments, not only Tibetan bowl, not only singing bowl, like frosted bowl, but other instruments like the gong. Unique of this crystal ball or the pyramid or koshi bell or even rain stick. So some people will feel that kind of instrument actually can change the energy of their part of their body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I can just
Add on to it.
add on to it lah. Okay. So the last question, I think we have go to the last questions already. So this is the question that if you describe your sound healing practice in 3 words, what could they be?
Sound healing definitely is musical.
Musical.
It can bring magic as well if you're
Magic.
open to it. Like pain disappearing, how is that not magical, right? But of course, that's not the only thing. It can help with people, let's say, manifesting. And if you manifest, that's actually quite magical. You can bring your thoughts and emotions into reality. Yeah. And final one, maybe groundedness as well. Yeah. It can bring us back to
These three
to
words.
grounding.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mindy, for attending this podcast and be my guest for sound healing. So I think we can a lot of topic to discuss after this about your trauma and your family constellation. Obviously, I do experience many family constellations as very, very powerful. Yeah, so this one will be the next coming sessions. So thank you, Mindy, for this, and also we'll see you for the next coming interview. Thank you. All right, thank you guys. Thank you. Bye.